12 post, Rug Delver.
An awesome finals.
Could be an underdog story.
Yeah. Against one of the bullies of the format, Rug Delver.
Yeah. More of a bully, Rug Delver. Pushing people around.
Yeah.
Making sure they don't have any fun.
Wasteland
you.
0 and 1 mana Stone Rain deck.
Yeah. More of a bully than anything.
Yeah.
Not even fun to play against.
We're going to lead off the action with a Volcanic.
And we're going to see Ponder. That's a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of opening. Obviously, we have no idea the exact quality of Kurt's hand, but you know, I would, if I'm in Tony's position, I would rather him be leading off with this than one of his one drops.
Yeah, no Delver, no Nimble Mongoose. That's a good thing. So let's see exactly what Tony's going to start here. We're going to see Basic Island, and we're going to see
Sensei's Divine.
And we're going to see a Daze here. Okay.
Again, you know, Tony's like, this is an okay exchange. You know what I mean? It's, as long as the pressure's not on.
We're going to see a fetch land here, and we're going to see a crack. So Kurt's going to move down to 19. Life total not going to be horribly relevant in this match for Kurt. Again, if Tony is going to kill him, it's going to be with some sort of alien Eldrazi or Primeval Titan creating an insurmountable advantage.
Yes.
Tropical Island here, and let's see if we're going to see another Ponder, Nimble Mongoose, or Delver of Secrets.
I mean, wanting to go get the Tropical instead of replaying the Volcanic, I think, signals that it's Nimble Mongoose. Because otherwise, like, why break a fetch land?
And you're going to actually see a Ponder.
Okay, we're pondering.
So again, dilly-dallying around, searching for a creature, it looks like.
And, you know, Tony without any of his cloud posts just yet, but not a bad start to this game for him.
So we
I don't think Kurt's hand offers him any form of momentum. It's like Brainstorm, Pierce, Stifle, Fork Bolt, nothing to actually...
I don't even think I see a Wasteland over there.
Yeah, I don't think he has any real disruption. So, we'll see. And there's a Cloud Post.
Now we're going to see from Tony.
He's going to try to land a Candelabra. And it's in.
All right. So pass back to Kurt. Kurt takes a draw.
Is that another... That's a Tarmogoyf. Okay. So that rationalizes a lot of this. Now we actually have a source of pressure.
Yeah, that's a clock starter. Let's see what land he's choosing to play here. You're going to see Volcanic, and he's just going to pass the turn.
Ooh.
Well, that one's a little bit surprising as well, because you do have to get on the board as fast as you can. So we do see Show and Tell drawn here from Tony. You want to be able to establish that pressure.
Well, I don't think, if he taps out, he might not be able to stop Show and Tell. I think that maybe is the problem.
And so
although, with this current setup, we can actually, well, we could play it around Daze, but not Pierce, I believe is the case. Oh no, we could. We get
for 2 and taps both those cloud posts. Yeah, so he can't actually...
Oh yeah, we can actually just Show and Tell. Oh, we're going to, okay.
Yes, how about Stifle that whammy?
That's a really good sign for Tony, right?
Yes, like, that is.
I mean, that means he probably doesn't have any counter spells to stop what's going on if he's stifling your Candelabra activation.
So now we are going to see... From Kurt, you're going to see Flooded Strand, now you're going to see Tarmogoyf. We'll see just how big that is. Looks to be at least a 3/4.
Yeah, instant sorcery land is...
And since it's mine top, actually...
Oh, an artifact, yeah. Artifact in Tony's.
So no Wasteland just yet. Doesn't look like there's a Forceful hiding over there either.
And we're trying to fend off this...
Tony draws.
We're trying to fend off this Candelabra with...
Yeah, with Stifles?
Yeah.
Flooded Strand comes into play. We see 3 mana here. We're going to see a Show and Tell be put on the stack here.
Oh boy. And Kurt is... I mean, he has a Brainstorm, but he does not have an answer to this.
We're going to see Flooded Strand get sacked. Move Kurt down to 18. And Kurt thinking to himself, oh boy. better not let that resolve.
Right.
I know what's coming if I do, and it's not good.
Yeah, the best case scenario is Primeval Titan.
Yeah. There's a tropical island there.
I assume we're going to be brainstorming here.
You can tell it's important. Good shuffle.
Yeah.
Good shuffle. I've done that before.
Yeah, we did.
Shuffle a bunch when you need it.
We need this to count.
Yeah.
I can confirm Kurt's hand is...
We're trying to figure out where that card came from.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is bottom of the deck.
Yeah,
Because
so that
his
card's
hand is
on-
Land, Brainstorm, Stifle.
Yeah. So it should just shuffle again.
Yep.
There we go. Make sure that's all clear.
Yeah.
Give it another good one.
Gotta
Yeah, good side shuffle.
Give me a wash.
Yeah.
Give me a wash.
All right, one more time.
Okay. This one counts. We have
Hit one.
Brainstorm.
Hit two.
Force of will. Okay.
And stifle. All right. Safe.
Yep. Though still not good because Tony's generating mana at a rate where he's going to be able to just play his stuff soon.
Yeah. I mean, this is just all one part of it. So you see Tony here tapping 2. And I'm tapping with Candelabra. He's going to untap these 2 here.
Are we going again?
We might see a repeal here too. 2 mana. You can see Pithing Needle.
I assume this will be on Wasteland.
Yeah. He's just going to fire back. Kurt draws his card.
It's a forked bolt. It stinks.
In for 4. Not for this matchup, that's for sure.
Brainstorm, Stifle, Fork Bolt the hand. The needle was named on Wasteland.
Sure. We are going to see Brainstorm here on the end step, of course, with Flooded Strand being in play. The healthy interaction, you see a Brainstorm, a Pithing Needle, and a Misty Rainforest here.
Yep.
For Tony.
So Tony basically needs to find another Vesuva or Cloudpost to allow him to cast Ulamog.
Yeah. And since we know that Stifle is looming there for Kurt, as he does put 2 cards back, might not actually get the opportunity.
You know what's pretty intriguing about this also? The way that, since Kurt was willing to Stifle that Candelabra activation, going forward, Tony can just activate Candelabra for no reason to try to bleed out a Stifle.
And there is a tropical island here for Tony. Yeah, another little dimension to the game now.
Ulamog in hand, just one piece away from going to Eldrazi Town.
Get me home.
And Tony with a lot of time to find it.
Yeah. Sitting at 16 right now, we also do know there's a repeal in Tony's hand as well. So
a lot of time.
And bounce the old Tarmogoyf if he finds that necessary. Get himself a new card.
Tony on taps.
Take a draw. Sensei's Divining Top, not bad.
Yeah, that'll play. Adds 2 mana and tops.
You see the activation there. Tropical Island.
And some
among
crop.
others.
Another
It's a Kozilek
boom boom.
and a crop rotation.
So crop rotation is awesome here. That can get him to the sufficient mana. I mean, in theory, he could actually just lead with crop rotation right now. As it resolves, he can.
Start to go a little bonkers.
Yeah. But I think he's happy to take a more conservative tact and just, you know, he can candelabra to make enough mana to repeal the Tarmogoyf and pay for Pierce for days, and then, you know, make Kurt spend a turn recasting it and then play around for things. We finally decides to go for it.
So now we see Candelabra. Untap.
Oh, okay.
We're going to see that Stifle again, aren't we? Yep.
Yep.
Stifle
And
again.
Again, Tony's got to be just thrilled.
Yeah.
With that happening. Like, his follow-up play wasn't even particularly good. I think it might have just been generating enough mana to repeal.
Yeah. Which is just nothing great as we see Tropical Island cards around here. Tarmogoyf going to come across for 4, put Tony down to 11. Might see that Brainstorm now.
I would be loath to play anything into a potential daze because soon Tony's just not going to be constrained on mana.
Yeah. No reason to turn.
Yeah, I would just untap if Kurt passes the turn.
We're gonna see a Brainstorm here from Kurt. Misty Rainforest, Spell Pierce, Mystery card. We'll say no Mongoose.
Okay. There's a Mongoose.
There's the Mongoose. You pass the turn back.
Yep,
See
he's just going to activate
activation,
top instead of brainstorming.
Looks like we might see probably some rearranging here, honestly.
I mean, I think that if I'm in Tony's position, we obviously have the luxury of seeing hands, but I'm sensing that, you know, he was willing to stifle a Candelabra last turn. To me, that represents he was willing to stifle a Candelabra last turn. To me, that represents that his shields are down. Because otherwise, if he had Force of Will or something to fight over whatever was coming, he would just wait.
Sure.
Or maybe he would, you know, be willing to stifle comes in play trigger and keep Force for later or whatever the case. So
using an untap here. See what he put on top. Crop rotation. Not too big of a surprise there.
Yeah, I think he's going for it. Let's see.
So tap for a green, tap for a blue, and crop rotate away that island. That's going to resolve, it looks like. So I'm searching by everything, looking for a Cloud Poster of a Suva here. Yep. There you see Cloud Post come into play. So each tap for 3 now, and this is where the mana generation really starts to get out of control with Candelabra.
Yeah, no, I like getting Cloud Post here because in theory he may want to save his Vesuvas to copy Glimmer Posts like sometime down the line. So if you're confident that you want to get Cloud Post, don't get the Vesuva, just get the Cloud Post.
So now we see 6 mana added to the pool. Candelabra activation for 3. Saying, you're going to stifle this again? Actually, it's going to be for 4, okay.
You had 1 mana floating from the crop rotation.
Correct. So now we have all of this mana, and we have an Ulamog on the stack.
Alright, so that thing's quite large.
Tarmogoyf down. Because of the cast trigger, which you guys can see on the screen on the left there, comes into play. Excuse me, when it's cast, destroy target permanent. And this thing is indestructible, and it's impossible for Kurt to get off of the board game 1. Doesn't even have Fire Ice to delay it. And he's going to take a quick read at it, as you guys can do there on the screen. And I think he's going to come to the same conclusion that Patrick and I will.
These things don't fight fair.
No.
Just like the aliens in Independence Day.
Yeah.
They do not fight fair.
Randy Quaid got him. He was our only hope. Good old Randy Quaid.
We're about to fire off that 4 bolt. Just give him something to remember.
Give you a quick little taste here.
Yeah, give him a kiss on the cheek
That's
on the way out.
It's almost like when the guns didn't work against the aliens in Independence Day. Tony goes down to 9 here. Tap. Draw a card. See the card drawn is Primeval Titan, and yep, that's gonna do it. Even when he blood of attack with it.
Maybe away from the camera it would be a different story, but on the air you don't want to go out like that.
Hey, gotta go. Got places to be.
Okay.
So we're gonna cut it on back to the booth for you guys, as it is trivia time.
I got one. If you don't have one, it's your call.
So nice.
I'm just throwing it out there. If you
After all the noodles bashing, go ahead.
well, are you like the CEO of Noodles and Company? I don't know why you take this as a
I
personal
wanted to
thing.
franchise one.
Anyhow, we talked a lot about this 12 post deck. It's run through the elimination rounds.
Yeah.
In the top 8 and the top 4, relatively easy matches, even though we lost one of the games to Jonathan Taylor.
Sure.
We've talked over and over again, there's one particular non-basic land that he's looking to avoid. It's the reason he has main deck Pything Needle, and it accounted for, as far as I can tell, one of his losses in the Swiss.
Yep.
It is a popular legacy staple from Tempest, and there are 4 copies that appear in his finals opponent's deck. So for 1 year of Star City Games Premium, hashtag SCG Premium, name that non-basic land.
It is not Noodles and Company.
That's not even anything remotely approaching an answer.
Yet. It's not Noodles and Company yet.
You wanna
I would love to.
All right, let's just have at it.
Take a look-ski here, as we do have Tony up a game here. 4 Flusterstorms. Interesting card in the sideboard there.
Yep.
It really just depends how important you think the counter magic is.
Yeah, I mean, I think
counter
he's got some real haymakers down at the bottom left of this list.
Okay. Venture Shaper Savant, not so much. As you guys can see the sideboard on the screen here. Chalice of the Void for 1 on the draw. I don't like it on the draw.
Yeah.
I kind of like it on the play, but not even a ton there. Tabernacle, Pendrevale, take care of Kurt's mana, make it so that he has to choose between actually keeping his creatures and attacking or leaving up those Spell Pierce type cards.
Mm-hmm.
Elephant Grass.
Yes.
That one's the interesting one.
Bananas.
Here, as it makes it, again, where you're going to use your mana.
Right.
You know, use it to attack me, that sort of thing. With how much mana Tony's deck can generate, paying the community upkeep on that, not incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
An additional Pithing Needle, and then 2 Curse Totems. Curse Totem, of course, going to stay on the bench here. The 4th Pithing Needle, probably going to come in for the Wasteland. Make sure he's able to take care of that. So, good sideboard cards here.
Yeah, and this is really an awesome angle attack against Rug Delver. Rug Delver is very mana efficient, but it's bad at generating actual mana. It doesn't play that game very well.
Yeah.
What Elephant Grass and Tabernacle ask you to do is actually have lands in play to be paying for things.
Yeah.
And that's just a much more challenging game for the Rug Delver deck to play.
Oddly enough. It's just difficult for him to do that.
Yeah, when they're piercing and dazing you, and it's like, yeah, but it's very mana efficient in that respect, but it cannot, I mean, it just doesn't have that many lands in the deck. A lot of the efficiency of the deck comes from shuffling away lands with Brainstorm and Ponder and finding more gas, and so it matches up just very poorly against cards that demand actual mana from you.
Yeah. Taking a look at Kurt's, I know you have in front of you.
Well, we talked about this a little bit, and Kurt is a little light on action. I think that Loam is a reasonable route to go because Wasteland is so powerful against Tony, although Tony will be, I assume, signing in the 4th copy of Pything Needle. And the 1 copy of Ancient Grudge I also like here as a way to get Pything Needle off the board. If you're going to go with a Loam plan, Pything Needle just stops that in its tracks.
Yeah.
And he's got Candelabra as well, so there's a couple artifacts in his deck, both of them significant. And so I would, if I was in Kurt's position, bring in the 1 Ancient Grudge. Other than that, I'm really struggling to find productive cards. Tony's deck is not soft to Surgical Extraction. He's not really doing anything out of the graveyard. He doesn't even have that many spells, so you can, you see sometimes, he just has a significant spell in his deck. I let her resolve or counter it once and then extract it. That's not really an angle of attack that you can take against Tony. And then Rough Tumble, Submerge, Sulfuric Vortex, Chromomancer, Pyroblast. I mean, again, there's some blue cards. He may want it to fight Show and Tell and Repeal if he has some dead cards in his deck. Like if he wants to get rid of the Fork Bolt, maybe the Izzet, maybe a couple of Spell Pierces. It's a slight upgrade, but I feel like Tony's bringing in a lot more haymakers in the matchup, and Kurt is improving his deck on the fringes, but I don't think he's making any substantial upgrades. And I think it was really important for Kurt to get that first game because I think that the matchup goes from bad game 1 for Tony to pretty even in the post-board games.
Yeah, oddly enough. And especially with Tony, if he does lose this game, for example, being on the play game 3, big deal.
Yeah.
Lead off with the turn 1 Pithing Needle, shut down those wastelands, be able to get the engine online.
Get a couple cloud posts in play and then play Elephant Grass. Okay. Can't attack for a million times.
Another card I didn't think we'd be seeing.
Right.
And talking about this weekend, so.
Elephant Grass was very good, or is very good in Cunio's Enchantress deck, but that's not a deck you really see on the Open Series, except for the occasional appearance by Chris Anderson. But that deck is sweet.
Sweet is the word I would use.
It's super sweet.
It's definitely sweet.
I watched a moto replay of him beating turn 1 14 goblins out of Char Belcher by just turn 1 Elephant Grass, and then upkeeping it until he could go infinite.
Sure.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Only way you could ever beat Belcher. Unbelievable.
That was your deck of choice in Denver?
It sure was. I don't want to talk about it.
I understand. That's part of the reason I brought it up. I'm not.
Oh, how'd you do, buddy? Huh?
I was at one point. If the tournament was 9
You're
rounds,
not first, you're last.
If the tournament was 9 rounds, my finish would have been quite good. I was 8-1.
You don't look like Reedy to me. You don't look like Vidianto Wajaya to me, buddy.
Yeah, I lost a lot. I lost to all sorts of things very quickly. That was my day 2.
Well, that burn deck is a skill tester, so.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that I top 8 these things and other people don't. I guess it's just must just be lucky. I don't know how else. I don't know what else it would be.
Burn deck is a skill tester.
Oh, this coming from Mr. Charbelcher over here.
Hey, it's tough to count to 7.
Add up 7.
It's tough to count to 7. Okay.
Add 7.
Actually, over the course of the weekend, I had some difficulty counting 7, which is why I don't want to talk about it.
Sure.
We do see both players here shuffling up. Kurt will be on the play for game number 2.
And I think that game was telling, and we talked a lot about it and this kind of stuff before the match actually started. Kurt's hand was fine in quotes. Like brainstorms and ponders and ways to fix his draw and some disruption, but he wasn't able to get on the board fast enough. And as good as his hand was, it wasn't fast enough. I mean, if you don't have an early threat and you don't have Wasteland, even if you have Ponder Brainstorm plus some Disruption plus some Shuffle, blah, 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 I just don't think that cuts it against Tony.
Yeah, it's got to start with the clock on turn 1, which is why we were so surprised when we saw a turn 1 Ponder, and it's immediately just like, all right, that's perfect for Tony.
Yeah, and then he dazed the Divining Top, which sent him back another turn.
Yep, and then he pondered again on the 3rd turn, and then he's just feeling good. And Tarmogoyf was a little late to the party, and by that point, Tony got things set up, had enough time, a little bit of breathing room, and then Oolong came to town.
Yeah.
So that's all it takes. As we do see both players looking at their 7 cards here.
Kurt contemplating here. Both keep.
And away we go. Flooded Strand, and again, no 1-drop. If you're Kurt, you're happy. Oh, excuse me, if you're Tony, you're happy. See Tropical Island, just a pass back, so.
I wonder if he's trying to induce Wasteland with the crop rotation in his hand.
I think it worked. Crop rotation.
That is a beating.
Fiddle. Let me take a look here. You can count a crop rotation if you want to. Not a big deal.
I mean,
that's what Tony's thinking here.
Kurt actually has. Kurt has surgical extraction in his hand, so he can actually cut Tony off of green entirely right now by surgicaling that Tropical Island.
Interesting dimension to the game.
I mean, I assume that we're...
There's a Cloud Post there. You do see surgical in his hand. You'll see Lightning Bolt there as well.
Is that a Submerge?
I think that is a Submerge, which is a little bit strange to see there.
Maybe that's the reason he actually can't surgical the Tropical Island, because he has Submerge in his hand. He needs them to play a Tropical at some point.
Primeval Titan the draw step there. You see Cloud Post number 2.
Oh my.
And now he's doing a nice job. And there's already 1 Wasteland gone, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yep.
Pass the turn back.
Delver's Secrets. And I think Kurt is actually without a second or a third land, rather. One of them was the Wasteland, of course. He finds
Looks like he's searching for volcanic.
Because he has Delver and Bolt in hand, so I guess he wants blue and red. And Tony's hand appears to be loaded. I mean, he's got a bunch of glimmer posts. I don't know if he's got a big finish yet, but he's got a ton of mana and a ton of time because of his glimmer posts.
Yep. And now you see Delver's Secrets here. And just pass on back. So we see Sensei's Divine Top, another good draw.
Yeah, excellent.
Third Cloud Post. All the mana. So you're going to see Sensei's Divining Top come into play here. He has 2 mana floating.
You know what strikes me as a sideboard card? If Tony really wanted something specific for Rug that seems sweet to me, it's Worm Coil Engine. It seems like super easy for him to resolve it and very, very challenging for them to beat.
I could see that being the case. Because we do see a few cards here. Can't really make out any of those, so not going to take
Show and Tell. I can only make out Show and Tell. And an Expedition map.
So be able to search out colored mana here too. And it's a good thing he does have that basic island in his deck, so we can search for that. As we do see Kurt take a look at Expedition map.
Oh, it's anything.
And now you're going to see Brainstorm here. And a card that you do see in Kurt's hand as well is an Ancient Grudge.
Yep.
Brainstorm, Delver of Secrets, another card, but I don't think any of those are lands.
No, I think we might be in the Brainstorm trap. Brainstorm much closer to Sage Owl here. Reveals.
We're in clarification here. We know exactly where we are in the game.
Yeah, I think there may be some confusion over whether or not the Delver trigger got announced.
Yeah.
Although it's a little weird because we never went into Kurt's draw step. So.
Yeah. And I think we're not even sure. Yeah, I guess that Brainstorm was on upkeep. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
He had not drawn yet.
Yep.
I guess, I don't know, but technically in the rules he may have to announce Delver basically before he takes any action after he untaps.
Yeah, basically what he has to do here is,
Okay, they're giving it, okay.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him. So, Delver Secrets is going to flip an Insectile Aberration. Going to reveal Lightning Bolt here, but again, no second land, so just an attack for 3, putting Tony down to 17, and this is a very perfect situation for him.
Yeah, I mean, 1 million mana, opponent not getting past 1 round for a while.
And even he's going to be able to spin the top here.
He gets the top, see if he wants to keep any of it, and then Expedition map to shuffle.
Yeah. And it looks like he is going to keep those cards there. Probably keeping that Show and Tell.
Alright, I think now he might make a move on the Surgical Extraction.
Yeah. Oddly enough, the Surgical Extraction choices are, kind of stinky.
Although Tony still has 2 mana floating, right?
Yeah.
So even if we extraction the Tropical here, he can just Expedition map in response. I mean, I think that Tony's also probably gotten a pretty significant edge throughout the course of this tournament about with their opponents not quite being sure what's going on, what to fight over.
Duo's card.
Oh.
Ayavugan.
And that, that's going to do it. We're going to see Emrakul in not too long.
369. He's going to search right now. Basically searching right now before Stifle or Wasteland is an issue.
And he knows that he's in the clear from Wasteland because Kurt didn't make a land drop last turn, so he's still seeing the last card he saw from Brainstorm as his draw step this turn.
So we see that there. He does have some mana left floating. So he's going to activate Sensei's Divining Top. Consider his options. And just pass the turn back. As we know, Kurt's draw step, he knows from Brainstorm, we know it's not a land.
We have seen, in our times doing Legacy coverage, some pretty spectacular finishes to games.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's pretty hard to beat finals of open hard casting Emrakul. That's a tough one to crack.
Yeah. Taking a look at Expedition map here. We do know that Tony does have the Glimmer Post in his hand too.
Mm-hmm.
So all it takes is a Glimmer Post for him to get to 15. He'll have 4 Locusts. Those Cloud Posts will tap for 4 each.
There's Delver Secrets. And if Tony has, when it places one of his Glimmer Posts, we are going to be just...
There you see Glimmer Post. It's going to gain him 4 life, put him up to 18. And that is exactly enough, with Eye of Ugin reducing the cost by 2 for the Spaghetti Monster.
Hooray!
And he said, I'm going to trigger my extra turn. I'm going to tap.
And there it
that
is.
That is it. Tony Murata.
12 post.
12 post, taking down Rug Delver, Kurt Samson. And I didn't think it would be 2 games.
No.
But 2-0 and what is probably one of, as you even saw earlier, getting beat up by it on your break, but able to take it down 2-0.
Yeah, just an
12
awesome, I mean, what, it's been a real treat to have him on camera 3 straight rounds during this elimination round.
It really has been. Really, really has been. Congratulations to Tony. Star City Games San Diego Legacy Champion.
And it's just really, you know, you can tell just by his operations with the way that he was, the order of operations was Divine Top, even in that game, leaving Expedition Map in place, so we had to shuffle with his top in case, you know, the top 3 weren't good. This is a